Well, hi there, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rusty, and this is my channel where I talk about my favorite movies, mostly horror, and my favorite music, mostly metal. And welcome to my July update. I'm going to try to go through this pretty fast. This was a really heavy month, and the reason it was because I found a couple of sales. Um, if you're an eBay shopper, quite often you can run across these Blu-ray or DVD sales, and it's basically really shocks you, but they are real. And that is, it'll be something like, hey, here's 30 Lionsgate or Warner Brothers Blu-rays to choose from. They're 250 a piece with $3 shipping and add 25 cents for each additional movie. And you're like, but they're not pirated. The digital codes work. They're all brand new. Most of them have slip cases. And I actually asked one of them one time, I'm like, how? And they were like, oh, you make deals with distributors, like, um, like with Best Buy or Walmart or something like that, or some warehouse. And you can make deals with distributors, and you really get them for next to nothing, and you can do these sales like that. So I actually ran across a couple of them where I got like 10 DVDs, 10 Blu-rays, brand new, sealed, digital codes, everything. And they're not pirated because the digital codes wouldn't work. So um, I did question it, but after asking one of them, they explained how they're able to do that as a business, how they're able to find and make a distribution deal with some warehouse who has, you know, 10 boxes or 10 cases of, you know, uh, Lionsgate or Warner Brothers or Universal movies or something like that. And they get this huge amount of money, and they can literally sell them for 250 a piece. It's amazing. But I did find a couple of them, so I probably ended up getting like 20 or 30 Blu-rays through those sales. I guess it was like Summer Madness sales. But yeah, so we need to get started. We're going to start with the DVDs. Um, there's so many stacked up here. I ain't got where I put me vape. But yeah, this is a little independent horror movie called Seconds Apart about little twin killer kids. It's an After Dark original. Um, I collect those and the 8 movies to die for things. So I was really glad. I'm going to try not to freak my camera out by making it focus. But yeah, Seconds Apart. I was really loved the trailer. So that's going to be cool. Where am I going to put all these? This is an After Dark horror fest that I've been dying for a long time, called The Final. It's part of the After Dark Horror Fest 4. And yeah, so I'm really, really excited to have this movie. I have wanted it for a long time. It was very expensive, and I managed to find it and Crazy Eights in a twofer. Some guy was selling them brand new in the wrapper for like 14 bucks, which was about as much as the final on its own. So, eagle eye shopper. But yeah, so the other one is Crazy Eights. Now you can get it pretty reasonably. The final though, that's an expensive movie. So yeah, got those. Natural Born Killers, the director cut, special edition. It's just one of those movies that you ran across, and I like went to go look at it, and it was like, I don't have it. Collectors can do that. We can, like, movies can slip under the radar, and it's just like we think we have it, but we don't. And when we go to watch it or check our library, we don't have it. So yeah, I wanted to pick up that, the director's cut, Natural Born Killers. This was a movie I did a little live on where you watched me actually watch this movie, and I really did like it. It was so much fun. Despite it being ridiculously cheesy as hell, and of course I knew not to judge it with Day of the Dead, the actual Romero. So it got nothing, As long as you watch this separate from that, I think it's very, very fun. But yeah, Day of the Dead. It's like 2008 or 9 or 10 or something like that. But yeah, it gets a lot of flack. But if you go and watch my watch along, I had a lot of fun with it. I really like bunker movies, you know, like underground. And so I picked up quite a few of them. I got Trench 11, a nice little zombie-ish contagion bunker movie. Violence is contagious. Ooh. Bunker Project 19, like where they're going to find like this super Russian mutated soldier dude and fight to the death. Bunker Project 19. I love my little B-movie indies. War of the Dead. Nothing like zombie. You know, and like I've said before, there's not really a lot of war horror movies set in a military atmosphere, except for Nazi zombies. Now, there's all of them you can handle. So, War of the Dead is another little Nazi zombie movie that I wanted. The Bunker, another one. So I'm really, really excited to have those. I will have a lot of fun watching those. This is a little B-movie slasher called The Redwood Massacre. So yeah, I'm really happy to have it. For my slasher collection. The Redwood Massacre. So, okay. Now we're going to start on the Blu-rays. And for instance, this is one of those from the sale. I've divided them, and we're going to start with replacements. These are movies that I already had on DVD, but wanted to replace because I like them a lot. And Gods of Egypt, I don't care. I love this movie. It is a spectacle, and I really like it. So there. But this was in one of those sales. This cost me like $2.50. For real. You know? Blu-ray plus digital HD, which worked and is now on my Vudu. So yeah, it's one of those. I think I probably got like 10 along with this. I replaced my DVD of Running Scared. Paul Walker. This is a really, really good movie. But I love this movie where he faces off against these Russian mobsters. Powerful movie. I love this movie. This is another one that was in one of those sales. Criminal, Blu-ray DVD, digital HD combo. Kevin Costner, Gary Oldman. If you haven't seen this, this is a great, great movie. Okay, I have a confession. I do. I have a really important confession to make publicly in front of you all. And I will not be shamed, but I will admit and confess to you all publicly at this time and in this moment. Yes, I am a Hunger Games fanboy. I am. And I fucking love it. But I realized when I did my little Hunger Games marathon the other night, I was like, wait a second, or a few weeks ago, I was like, wait a second, how come only 2 of them are Blu-ray? So I was like, what? You've not replaced them? Okay. So I replaced my DVD of the Hunger Games, and I replaced Catching Fire. So now they're all Blu-ray like there should be, or like I want them because they're special. But yes, I am a Hunger Games fanboy. I am not ashamed in any way, shape, or form. They are fantastic dystopian movies, and I love them. So there. Justice League, Blu-ray, DVD, digital. Yes, I know. Yes, Zack Snyder's is a lot better. Yes, I know people hate this movie, but I didn't. It's okay. But this was also in one of those cells. Yes, the Justice League was in the cell. Blu-ray, DVD, digital, which did work. All of the digitals worked because they are legitimate movies. So yes, I replaced my DVD of the Justice League. I replaced my DVD of Dreamcatcher. I really love this movie. It's Stephen King adaptation. So yeah, it's got one of the Wahlberg boys in it. But I love Dreamcatcher. And this is one of the shockingest. This movie is so shocking. Nicole Kidman in this movie, man, I can remember like when the first time that I saw this movie, I was just like, I cannot believe the things that she is doing in this movie. And I was that same way when she did Destroyer. I mean, Nicole Kidman has got a pair of low hangers. I mean, you may think Nicole Kidman is like hoity-toity or something like that, but this girl does not mind getting down and dirty. You know what I mean? And The Paperboy with Nicole Kidman, Matthew McConaughey. It is a fantastic movie, so I replaced my DVD with the Blu-ray DVD combo. But yeah, if you have never seen this, you will WTF a lot during this movie, especially over Nicole Kidman. And you'll do a few WTFs over Matthew McConaughey either, and there's not much that boy won't do. You know what I mean? Okay. I replaced my Batman trilogy DVDs. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight. You know, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Pretty 3D lenticular cover there. But yeah. Every once in a while, a collector will go through their collection and go, oh, I've never replaced that. I've never replaced that. And I would really like to replace that. I would really like to see that in Blu-ray. And so yeah, I replaced the Christian Bale Batman trilogy. And now, okay, I replaced Full Metal Jacket, my DVD of Full Metal Jacket. I love this movie. Everybody, if you get to know my channel, you know the kind of stuff I'm into. I do like westerns. I do like war movies. And Full Metal Jacket is one of the best war movies ever made, in my opinion. I absolutely love Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. I replaced my DVD of Tombstone, which is one of the best westerns ever made. Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell, they are phenomenal in that movie. I did a video on this already, and that is I replaced my DVD of Upgrade with the Blu-ray. I've actually already done a video on this for the Man Plus Machine Week. And this is Matthew McConaughey. Matthew Broderick. War games, war games, war games. Because it's Matthew Broderick, for God's sakes. And a car is pulling in here at 2 a.m. in the morning. Right through my window. But yes, the only thing I didn't like about war games was I wanted to kill Ali Sheedy, because you really need to stop. You really need to stop touching my Matthew Broderick. You really need to keep your hands off. I was such a bitch when I was a little teenager, like 14, 15. I get all of those little teenage magazines, you know, Teen Beat and all of that kind of stuff. And I was bitchy. Like, Ralph Macchio or Matt Dillon or Emilio Estevez or somebody. They would be like on the red carpet with some chick with them and all. Man, I would cut the girls out and throw them away. I was like really a little bitch when it, so, but I was in love with Matthew Broderick in War Games. So yeah, I wanted to have the Blu-ray of War Games. It's just a fantastic movie. Did I have Battle Los Angeles? I think I did have Battle Los Angeles, but in any event, that's not why I got it. I wanted to get Lockout, the unrated version of Lockout. So this is a double feature. Yeah, I did have Battle Los Angeles on DVD. Um, but Lockout and Battle Los Angeles, they got their own discs. I was giving my Blu-rays away, but then I kind of figured out unless you get a DVD Blu-ray combo, why don't you just buy some of those little things? Why don't you just buy some of them and put the DVD of the movie in there? Now I do have the DVD of Lockout, but it's got special packaging, a special lenticular packaging, so I'm keeping it. But yeah, so that's a little trick you can do if you want to keep your DVDs without using more space, which is what replacing with Blu-ray. Not only am I replacing with Blu-ray the movies that I love, but it also cuts down on space because to store a bunch of Blu-rays, they take up a lot less space than a DVD. Now, rather than, just give the DVDs away, if it didn't have a combo, I started doing this, where I just buy these little things and I keep the DVD and I throw and then I just reuse the DVD case for when they come broken or something. I replaced Face Off. Two of the best. Those are two fantastic movies right there. Snake Eyes and Face Off. Two great movies. See? I just put the DVDs in here. I replaced the extended version of Stargate. I love that movie, and to see the extended director's cut on Blu-ray was very cool, so I replaced that. I replaced Alexander Revisited, the final cut. I absolutely love this movie. And as you can see, I kept the DVDs. So I replaced that on Blu-ray, or to Blu-ray, upgraded it to Blu-ray. And I did the same thing for Troy. You can see like what part of my movie collection I was going through. So Alexander and now Troy, Brad Pitt and Troy. So I got the director's cut, which I didn't know there was a director's cut of Troy. So that's going to be exciting. And that's it for all of my replacements. Now for movies that I did not have. Another fantastic war movie, Mel Gibson's We Were Soldiers. This was also in one of those sales. I mean, a bunch of these were, but when I recognize one, I'll tell you. This was also in one of those little 250 cells. Digital code worked fine. The follow-up to 47 Meters Down, which I think a channel I watch called Nick Cooling, he did not like it. A lot of people don't really like it. So it's like really a big step down from the first movie, but it was 250. And I mean, they all said it's watchable. It's all right. It just doesn't match the first one. Rock of Ages, that was in one of those cells. Tom Cruise, Rock of Ages. I think that will be cool. This is a little indie movie called Inherit the Viper. Josh Hartnett. Inherit the Viper. I've never seen that. Remember, these are movies I didn't have. Matthew McConaughey. I've seen this before, which is why I wanted it. I love this movie. It's called Gold. It's such a really cool movie. He is so fucked up in this movie. And he looks so different. Look at that bald head. But he is like really cool. I just love this movie. The little con man does good. It reminds me of American Made. You know, that Tom Cruise movie? It kind of reminds me a little of that. I think there are two movies you could watch in a double feature. I don't know if this is any good, but The Legend of Tarzan. So yes. If for nothing else, you can watch old Skarsgård walk around with no shirt, yeah? So, I don't know if that's any good or not. This is a Val Kilmer movie that people say is really good, a little indie horror movie called The Super. I watched the trailer. I had never heard of it. He had throat cancer and he wouldn't never tell anyone. Then he finally admitted it, and then he got all healed up, and he actually lived through it, and he's back to making movies. And from what I've read, people really like this movie. It's a little horror movie called The Super. Another little vengeance horror movie called Unforgettable. Katherine Heigl, Rosario Dawson. I think one of them decides, you're not going to take my man, and get away with it anyway. This is a little indie, out of the way, no one's ever heard of. It's called Ill. Final Contamination. Obviously, it's a zombie apocalypse movie, so we'll see. I just let them all fall around my feet. This is another little indie called Dead Mine, where they go into the underground and end up facing mutants. It's a little action movie. Dead Mine. All right. I just can't get enough of my zombie Nazis, right? So this is Outpost. I think this is the second one. Now I just have to get the first one. I've got 2 and 3. I need to get the first one. But this is Outpost. Me and my Nazi zombies. Mel Gibson and the Patriot. I guess you could see that I kind of went through and looked at Mel Gibson movies. The extended cut of the Patriot. This was a screw up. It's only the second one that I've had. But I bought Bad Samaritan, only to realize I already had Bad Samaritan. So that's a Blu-ray to give away. I already did a video on this. This is Automata. So I received it and did a video of it in July. And the Man Plus Machine Week. I love this movie. Antonio Banderas. It's a great, great movie. Okay. I've been dying to have this on Blu-ray in my collection, and that is Jacob's Ladder. Phenomenal, phenomenal movie if you've never seen Jacob's Ladder. Tim Robbins. will blow your mind is a masterpiece. This is a little indie movie called Red Rage. It's like a little crime thriller horror about some psychotic drug that gets spread around called Red Rage. I've had this on my wish list for a long, long time. A little horror movie, horror slash horror comedy called Home Sweet Hell. Katherine Heigl. So, didn't I just say she was in a movie? Oh yeah, that Unforgettable. But Home Sweet Hell, a couple that decides to start killing people, or she does after she finds him cheating. This is Tax Collector, Shia LaBeouf movie. I hate the way he looks in it, but I heard it was a kick-ass movie. Tax Collector. Continuing my Star Trek. This is Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. I will soon have all 10 of them like I want. Slowly getting my Star Trek upgraded to Blu-ray. A Liam Neeson movie. I guess he's going to need his own section soon. Cold Pursuit. Nothing like a Liam Neeson action movie to pass an hour and a half. Yakuza Princess. I heard this was a kick-ass fight movie. It's also supposedly got Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and some very interesting hospital gown scenes. So, Yakuza Princess. Leonardo DiCaprio and J. Edgar. I'm really kind of interesting to see how he portrays J. Edgar Hoover and his boyfriend. This is a Western called Appaloosa, rated R, violent Western. Vito Morgensen and Ed Harris. Another Liam Neeson movie called The Commuter. Like I said, nothing like some Liam Neeson action to pass an hour and a half. A horror movie called The Chernobyl Diaries, where a group of pretty people decide to go and visit that radioactive place, Chernobyl, and end up finding that something's there. So yeah, The Chernobyl Diaries. Adrian Brody and Sam Neill in a little ghost movie called Backtrack. That should be interesting. Liam Hemsworth, Bruce Dern, Teresa Palmer, John Malkovich, Cut Bank. I wish he had shaved that shit off, but I heard this was pretty good. And now we're going to move on to some more special. My special stuff is always at the end. We get the Scream Factory version of the original, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Now, in my last update, you saw me calling the sequel the original. And I realized that after I had filmed it because I knew this was coming. And I guess I got confused. But this is so that last month was the sequel that I upgraded to Blu-ray. And this is the original, which I've never had. So the original Town That Dreaded Sundown. We have the Scream Factory Collector's Edition of The Howling. Now I know that I do have the Scream Queens double feature from Shout Factory, which is so crappy. They put two movies on the same Blu-ray. No extras, no features, nothing. I don't even know what they were doing with that. I bought it and I shouldn't have. Um, so I've replaced it with the actual Scream Factory of the Howling with the original cover, of course, reversible cover. So yeah, Scream Factory's The Howling. Life Force, phenomenal movie. This is the Scream Factory Collector's Edition of Life Force. Fantastic movie, also with the reversible cover, with the original movie poster on it. I was trying to save time and not take it out, and it would have took less time if I had just taken it out. So yes, Life Force, Scream Factory. The Forever Purge. Got the final Purge movie. So yeah, I have all 5 of them now. I have not seen this, but I will like it, I'm sure. Angelina Jolie, I've been wanting this for a while. Those Who Wish Me Dead. I can't wait to see this. I really love the trailer. It's a little action thriller, which she's very good at. This is from Artsploitation, which is, I think they're distributed through Kino Lorba. They are distributed. I've got a couple of their movies now, and this is called The Prince. But it's from Artsploitation. And I've got another of their movies called The Treatment, which is very controversial. This is very controversial. The 25th anniversary edition Blu-ray of Stand By Me. I actually did not have this in my collection, so now I've got it in Blu-ray. The Scream Factory of Witchboard. If you've never seen Witchboard, you really should. It's one of those classic 80s phenomenals, and I love Witchboard. Glad to have it. Tawny Katane. Nicolas Cage, the 4K plus Blu-ray of Color Out of Space. Do I have a 4K player? No. But who knows? Maybe one day. So, as long as it has the Blu-ray in it, you're cool. So, Nicolas Cage, Color Out of Space. Glad to have that. This is the new movie by Gerard Butler. The sci-fi movie Greenland, or disaster movie, I'm sorry. The disaster movie Greenland. I think that's going to be fun as hell. Blu-ray and DVD. So yeah. Yay! I replaced my DVD of The Road Warrior with Blu-ray. They really need to come out with like a special edition of this, but I heard this release was really good, so I'm satisfied. I got the Scream Factory Mad Max, so I've replaced my two Mad Max movies. The Scream Factory Special Collector's Edition of Mad Max. I already had a Blu-ray of Pet Sematary, and I bought it thinking it was the newest release, but it turns out that it was just a repackage of an earlier release, so I wanted this, the anniversary edition of Pet Sematary. I guess I can give the other one away. It's an earlier release, and this has got better transfer. Special Comic-Con art edition of The Day After Tomorrow. I absolutely love this movie. Now, I also have a special DVD with special packaging, so I'll keep it. But this has got the art card, or the comic card. It's a limited comic card. Comic-Con release of The Day After Tomorrow. So you have to get the Comic-Con release to get the special art slipcase. Fantastic movie. Now this, I started to buy the Shout Factory steelbook of Platoon, and as has become my habit, I went to Bluray.com and I looked it up and I looked at the reviews, and boy am I glad that I did not get it. There wasn't one single positive review. Everybody was just like, what the hell did you do? I can't believe that you released this. It is terrible. The transfer is terrible. The DNR is so over the top that it doesn't even look real. It's just a really terrible release, and all of the collectors on there were saying, don't do it. Yes, the little steel case looks pretty, and yes, the Shout Factory name on it, but you want this release. You know, this release in either its Comic-Con special packaging or just it on its own, which looks like that. But they said this release is fantastic, and the transfer is great, and it's wonderful. So, and it's probably about $10 less than buying the steelbook. And everybody just said that steelbook was the most awful thing that they had ever seen. So I'm glad I didn't do it. So this is the Comic-Con special art slipcase release of Platoon. Which I, replaced my DVD, which I'll keep because of the special packaging of that too. Now this is Shout Factory, or Scream Factory's collector's edition of Saturn III. Saturn III is a Farrah Fawcett movie, and I absolutely really remember this from being a little kid. Between the ages of 9, when I went and saw the Tree Planet of the Apes the Charlton Heston that I just did videos on. Between then and then, I didn't really see anything but Star Wars and Midway and Tora 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 until I was 14. Then I went and was allowed to go see Friday the 13th. That was it. I was then old enough, according to my dad, to start seeing movies and stuff, and I remember this. This is one of those early movies, 14, 15 years old, that I saw on cable that blew my mind, and I'm really glad to have it. Farrah Fawcett, Saturn III. It's rated R. It's pretty gory. But yeah, so I'm really glad to have that. And finally, I know you people don't like it, or I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love Jack Reacher. I do. I love Jack Reacher. I love Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher. The only thing that I did not like about the Jack Reacher movies was that they made them PG-13, and I think that was a big mistake on his part. I think they should have made them more violent, more bloody, more sexy, whatever. They should have been rated R movies like John Wick kind of stuff. But there is Jack Reacher Never Go Back, the second one. I upgraded my DVD to the combo. And this one even comes with, it comes with a book, a graphic novel. So I thought that was kind of cool from the writer of Jack Reacher. They wrote a special book just for this release. It's sort of like a continuation called Everyone Talks. And I'm putting that in upside down. So yeah, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, with the special graphic novel in it. And that leads us to our last, and that is the Jack Reacher Steelbook. Hallelujah. DVD and Blu-ray of Jack Reacher. You think I'm a hero? I'm not a hero. If you're smart, that scares you, because I have nothing to lose. I know he's not 6'5" and built like, Andre the Giant, which is not how the actual character is, but I love this movie enough to have sprung for the Steelbook. And that's it. I love Jack Reacher. Still should have been rated R though. It's good violence, it's good storyline, especially the first one. But they could have really been sensations if he'd have made them rated R. That's all I gotta say. But hey, I still love them. And there you go. That is a rather extremely heavy. That is a pretty heavy addition to. Every once in a while, I'll have a really heavy month. I told you why. About 20 of those Blu-rays came from sales that I found, where people were doing ridiculous sales of brand new, still in the wrapper with the slip cases and digital, almost all of them, for basically $2 and $3 a piece. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So that's why I had so many, was because about 20 of them came from those sales. 25 of them came from those sales. So that's a big mess of movies right there. And thank you for tuning in and checking out all of the new additions, and I will see you in whatever I decide to do next. Always remember, never forget, you still are a wonderful, special, and unique individual. No matter what anyone is telling you or anyone is doing to you, you're the only one of you. And the earth should be very happy that it has you. And yeah, so keep rocking very, very hard, and keep screaming, but only when appropriate. And I will see you in the next video, I hope. And love you, miss you. Bye-bye. Hope you got some ideas. Hope you saw some new stuff, maybe to go look up yourself. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta. Arrivederci. Get the hell out of here.